Hey, 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 what's been good about your day? It's Mrs. Newport. Time for story time. We're going to be featuring Heaven Changes Everything by Todd and Sonja Burpo. This is the sequel to Heaven is for Real. So if you haven't seen the movie, it is phenomenal. It gives you a lot of great backstory about why they wrote this. Somebody asked the other day, how do you write a sequel to when a child almost died and so on? So we are in the middle of this. We're going to start on chapter 22 today. It's called Heaven, You're Gonna Like It. I love this chapter. You ready? Here we go. His tone was matter of fact, as though he were describing something as real and familiar as the town fire station. Daniel and Gloria exchanged books, and a surreal feeling washed over me. They exchanged looks, sorry, and a surreal feeling washed over me. By then, I was used to hearing Colton talk about heaven, but now he had become a messenger, a tiny tour guide for a departing heavenly traveler. This is Todd speaking here in this chapter. We all want to go to heaven. So true. Someday, just not today. At least that's what many popular songs say today on the radio airwaves. Sometimes I listen to country music and I've noticed that there's a popular song Kenny Chesney sings called Everybody Wants to Go to Heaven, but Nobody Wants to Go Now. I don't care what genre you listen to though, you've probably heard a song that carries the same message. Colton is the exception to this general idea of wanting to go to heaven someday. One of the most amazing things about him is the steady, unshakable hope he carries with him. This is one kid who would like to go back to heaven now. I don't know about you, but I grew up thinking, yeah, heaven's a good place and I want to go there. But to be honest, I couldn't get too excited about the traditional view that we live in mansions and walk on streets paved with gold. Probably like a lot of people, I wondered, will we play harps and float on clouds all day or what? I knew that being with Jesus throughout eternity would be a wonderful thing, but frankly, I just couldn't grasp how wonderful it would be. It just seemed too huge an idea to understand. Then, my son came back from heaven with such strong eagerness to go back that he lost all fear of death. What does that tell you? If a little kid feels that way, you just know heaven is going to be fun. And if it's that appealing to a kid, what will it be like for adults, for everyone? I think it means heaven will be custom made for me and for you. It won't be a place where we sit around all day and sing Kumbaya, unless that's what you like, the idea around sitting around all day and singing it. It's a place that's interesting, engaging, and amazing. It's hard to think of words to describe how it's surely going to feel. Most of all, I think in heaven we'll feel secure. Forever, we'll be with Jesus, the all-powerful King, and we won't have to lock the doors and set a security alarm. We won't have to worry about getting cancer or diabetes. We won't ever be betrayed by a loved one, attacked by an assailant, or run over by a car. We'll be safe from all harm. We'll also be productive. Since Colton was given homework while he was in heaven, he assures me all of us will be assigned a job to do, something we enjoy. Our work there will reward us with a sense of purpose, productivity, and accomplishment. Most of all in heaven, we'll feel loved. Colton tells me, Dad, in heaven, you can just feel God's love all the time. As a pastor, I've seen a lot of people who've shown an eagerness for heaven, but almost all of them were suffering and longed for death to bring relief from their misery and pain. Maybe it was cancer, maybe loneliness, maybe old age or dementia. All these sufferers wanted something better, and they looked forward to heaven as a place where their suffering or sadness would end. What I saw in Colton when he was 4 and what I still see in him now that he's a teenager is a completely different kind of anticipation. His life right now, for the most part, is pretty good, but he still longs for heaven. Fortunately, dads can learn from their kids. Absorbing all the information about heaven I've learned from Colton, I now long for heaven more eagerly too. What about you? Another song that's good to listen to when troubles weigh you down is Carrie Underwood's This Is My Temporary Home. I'm going to leave you with Philippians 1, 23 through 24. I want to leave this life and be with Christ, which is much better, but you need me here in my body. That's awesome to think about. How is God going to use you and me today? Let's read chapter 23. It's called Heavenly Comforters. Then he grew serious. Dad, Jesus had the angels sing to me because I was so scared. They made me feel better. So this is Sonja talking. This is the mama. Colton wasn't the first person to be comforted by angels in a scary place. The Bible tells us on the first Christmas night, shepherds staying out in the fields with their sheep were terrified by the glory of God that suddenly surrounded them. I imagine a little boy would probably be just as scared when he found himself in a strange place. The angels sang to Colton when he was in the hospital operating room, anesthetized and about to be taken up to heaven. A lot of people who have a near-death experience talk about a white light or a long tunnel and a sense of peace. But here's a little kid saying, I was so scared. He was so scared of the unknown, scared of what was happening to him. Most noticeable to me in all of this is that Colton was totally honest about what he was feeling. His experience makes me think about what happens when the adults admit they were scared about something. What happens when we're totally honest with ourselves and with God? The Bible says God is looking for worshipers who worship him in spirit and in truth. That's from John 4:24. When we come before God with truthful spirits, that's the point where we can deal with our honest feelings. Of course, he already knows what's going on inside us, but he addresses those feelings when we honestly bring them before him. So picture Colton suddenly finding himself in heaven. Since he's a little boy, he doesn't know any better than to express his honest feelings. I'm scared. Then what's the first thing Jesus did for him? He addressed that need. He sent his angels to sing to Colton. The lesson for us is that Jesus will comfort us too when we're scared, even before we get to heaven. Whether we're scared about our child's health or our own, our job or our finances, whatever is scaring you, bring it to Jesus in honest prayer and trust that he will respond to your need in exactly the way that works best for you. So God already knows what's happening inside you, but he wants you to share honestly with him about your feelings. Wonderful things happen when you do. All right, the end of the chapter, the verse is Luke 2:8-10. Here we go. There were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people." I hope you find some joy today in whatever you do, and we will see you tomorrow.